evening, and thank you for joining us for special coverage of the Sean Grayson murder trial. I'm Lizzie Siles. Today was the very first day focused mainly on jury selection. Attorneys had set aside 2 days for that. They anticipated there would be a lot of people disqualified just because this is a case with a lot of attention. If you don't quite remember, 25 News' Liz Lape will briefly recap the case here in a second. But the reason this trial is in Peoria is because of media attention. The altercation between former Sangamon County Sheriff Deputy Sean Grayson and Sonya Massey was captured on video, and he's currently, as I mentioned, under on a murder trial for that case. But because of all of that attention that it got in Sangamon County, it's been moved over to Peoria County. So throughout this process here, as we report on this, you'll see us talking about Sangamon County prosecutors and Sangamon County judges. They have also come over, all for the purpose of working through this trial here this week. We're going to turn it over to Liz Lape. She was in the courtroom all day watching that jury selection. She will be back in the courtroom Wednesday, but she joins us now.
The high-profile murder trial of former Illinois Sheriff Deputy Sean Grayson has officially begun in Peoria. Grayson is accused of shooting and killing Sonya Massey in her home last July. And the proceedings to the trial have begun with a more than 7-hour jury selection process. The jury has been selected earlier than expected today. There are 9 women and 3 men on the jury, with 2 men and 1 woman as alternates. The jury is also predominantly white, with 1 person of color. Sangamon County Chief Judge Ryan Cadigan is overseeing the trial, which is expected the last 2 weeks. And this jury selection was from a pool of 100 potential candidates. The first group of prospective jurors were largely middle-aged to older and predominantly white. They revealed widespread prior knowledge of the case through media, but despite this, many affirmed their ability to remain impartial. Issues such as connections to law enforcement, medical concerns, and past legal experiences were also raised by both the prosecution and defense. State's attorney for Sangamon County, John Milheiser, questioned jurors about their views on law enforcement and the use of deadly force, while defense attorney Daniel Foltz highlighted medical issues and other potential biases, including a juror who was a home invasion victim. Ultimately, only 3 members from this initial group were seated. Jury selection continued with a second group, similarly composed, but with slightly younger, more educated individuals. Again, most potential jurors had said that they had heard of this case before because of media and social media, but some said they could not remain impartial because of that media exposure. In Peoria, Liz Lape, 25 News.
All right, thank you, Liz. And looking at our story that's on 25newsnow.com and our 25 News app right now, I just wanted to go through some of the other questions and considerations made for these jurors here. The Sangamon County State's attorney asking those jurors if they knew any members of law enforcement, if they had any interaction with police officers prior to this. You're going to have to excuse me while I read off the iPad as well. Admitting, some of them saying they had sat on a jury before, but also asking, have these jurors ever donated to police-related charities or fraternal organizations, things like that. Now, they can reply yes. That doesn't mean, they won't be impartial. That's what they're mainly focusing on, whether or not a juror has perhaps too many biases that may affect their impartiality, etc., things like that. Now, we're going to bring up that graphic really quickly that we had up a second before, because we just wanted to remind everyone in the Peoria area that there are going to be some road closures in and around the courthouse. Hopefully, you'll see this map in a second. Main Street is going to be closed at Adams and Washington Streets, and then Jefferson Avenue, it's also going to be closed there. Hamilton Streets will also be closed from Jefferson to Adams. Now, you may be able to see on your screen there, part of those streets are blocked off because they're being used for media parking. Another block is in front of the courthouse. That is set aside for protesters. Now, our Sam Matheny was out there this morning. He spoke with some of those protesters to ask them what brought them out here.
What we're hoping for is for people to just realize that police killings is senseless, police brutality is senseless, And we're really hoping that the police have an opportunity for growth. You know, the way that they screen their officers, the way that they train their officers, we're hoping that this gives the community, the entire community across the United States, the opportunity for growth in those departments.
I hope the legislators put legislation in place. I think some has already been in place for her, but in place across this country, that if an officer or former officer does something like this, that he or she should not be able to go to another department to have the opportunity to do this again.
And I got my son out here today, got him from out of school, just to show the support, about what happened in the case. And I watched the video, and I feel like, like the rest of the world feel like it was unjustified, and we need to make a change. We need to start from somewhere, from the kids to the adults to the older people who still.
The rally is expected to go from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. today. We'll have coverage from inside the Peoria County Courthouse tonight on 25 News. For now, in downtown Peoria, Sam Matheny, 25 News.
Thank you, Sam. And he's right. We do have coverage from throughout the day on 25newsnow.com. We're going to wrap up this stream for today. The court will not be in session tomorrow, so we won't have a stream tomorrow at 7. But Capital News Illinois says opening arguments will start Wednesday morning at 9. So you can keep an eye on 25newsnow.com and our 25 News app. You will get alerts when we have updates. We will see you on Wednesday. Thank you for joining us.